Hey everybody, Doug Walker here. This is my review of Zootopia. Again, Rob wasn't able to make this one, but I went and I saw it today, and this movie's getting, mad good reviews. I think right now it's at 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's insane! That is totally nuts. So I'm wondering, because I saw the previews, they look cute and whatever, but I mean, best review, 98%! I'm like, what the hell is in this movie that got 98%? So I was so curious. I went and I saw this movie, and it's good. It's, as probably a lot of people have mentioned, it's kind of like Disney's version of Crash. The one that's all about prejudice and diversity and stuff. And that's good. It's a good movie. It's one of those things where I think because I hear, ever since I was a little kid, I hear these stories all the time about how prejudice is bad and you shouldn't do it and you should be open-minded and everything. It's one of those things where it's I know it, and at the very beginning of this film, they're making it clear that's what it's going to be about, and I just immediately kind of nodded and went, oh, it's, that kind of movie. Okay, alright, and I'm hoping maybe they'll do something kind of new with it, and they do! Not only does it talk about prejudice and diversity and such, it talks about it in a way that's very relevant today. So it is very, very clever. I think for me, because with these kind of stories, even when they're good, and this is kind of my prejudice, even when these stories are good, I feel like because I know the moral and because it's gonna focus a lot on this, it starts to lose me a little bit, and I always feel like it has to be a little funnier or a little more creative if it's going to keep me invested and keep me to really like it. And it is funny, and it is clever. But there's a lot of moments where it's okay, we're just going to take 10 solid minutes and we are going to hammer this in. And then we'll have maybe 2 minutes of really good comedy and clever writing and just great jokes and characters and stuff. And then another 10 minutes where we're really going to hammer this in. But the way they hammer it in, again, is relevant today. And what pisses me off about this movie is that I kind of have to say it's brilliant and it's really great, because this is one of those things where you think oh, well, come on, isn't this heavy-handed? Don't people know this is, not right and all this stuff? And Trump's in the lead, and it's shit, damn it! Now we gotta say, yes, this is relevant because, look what the bunny's saying, Trump supporters, prejudice is bad, and it's god damn it. It so pisses me off that this is still such as big an issue as it is. I mean, it's never going away. It's like anything. It's like prejudice, sexism, racism, all this. It's never going away. Human nature, all that stuff, and they refer to that too, our basic inner, our horrible inner savage nature and stuff. But it's such a shame to see that it is as big as it is, and I don't know any Trump supporters. Nobody knows any Trump supporters. Nobody knows where these people are coming from. I think it's just you have sort of this civilized world that's, just trying to, evolve, as the movie says, and, get better, and then it's just out of these caves, out of their Duck Dynasty fan clubs or something, they kind of crawl out, and they crawl out in big numbers, and, the rest of America is we really didn't know they were there, we had no idea, this was a joke, this started off as a joke, so that is relevant to this, because, while this movie does seem very heavy-handed, even though it's done clever, it's something that sadly is relevant. So I guess what I'm getting at with that is that it kind of depends on what you're looking for, because if you're like me and this is going to be the focus, it's well, okay, is there enough clever writing and characters and stuff? There is for a good film, and it is good. But like I said, this moral, if you already know this moral, if you're already open-minded, if you're already you don't want to keep whatever the immigrants out and make America great again and stuff, you're gonna get this. And it's a lot of shoving this in your face, and it is smart because it's tying into the different animals and predators and stereotypes, and they make fun of them, but it's mostly trying to be very dramatic with it. So it's one of those things where if you want to see a movie like that, if you want to see a film really hammer in what bullshit that is, you're gonna love it. And I think a lot of people are sick of seeing all these Trump supporters, and they are sick of seeing all this prejudice. You turn on the news, it's like, here's the latest prejudice bullshit. It's still around, it's still relevant. I'm not at all saying it isn't. I'm saying that for a film like this, I was kind of expecting even more comedy, even more kind of fun, clever writing and wordplay and visuals and stuff, but there's a lot of people just sort of sitting around talking about how much it sucks to be a bunny, a fox, a predator, prey, whatever. There's a lot of that in this. And if that's not your thing, I think you'll still like it. It is a good movie. I just don't know if you'll get into it as much as like everyone else is getting into it. But, the show we went to, packed house, and kids all over the place. And the kids were liking it okay, but they were starting to kick the seat a little bit. They were kind of turning on their phones a little bit, and they were starting to talk to the mom and dad. They were getting antsy a little bit. And then eventually near the end, they throw in a little bit of action and adventure and stuff. And there is creativity to it. Zootopia in general is a very cool looking place. And there's a lot of cool designs on the animals and the buildings. There's different parts of the city, which is really cool. There's like a winter part. There's a rainforest part. Honestly, I kind of want more. I want to see more of the designs. The best part of the movie is just the train going through Zootopia and showing what it looks like. And I kind of wish, even though they do go to these parts, I think they go to every single part, which is good. They don't stay in one location. I kind of wanted to see even more, of the designs and the layouts and stuff beyond that train ride. It's not like you never see it, but, the focus is going to be on the characters, and I don't know. There's a scene near the end where there's, a train chase, which I'm a sucker for train chases. I love them. I don't know if I've ever seen a bad train chase. And this one's good, too. But it's one of those things where it's it kind of wraps up pretty quickly. I'm thinking, man, couldn't they go through more different parts of the world or whatever? The other great part in it is they go through this little mouse village. It's like a bunny and a weasel, and they're chasing each other through this mouse village. And it's great because everybody's really tiny in tiny buildings, and they're going around like giants. Man, I wanted more of that. I wanted so much more of that. And what I got is a fair amount. It's a good amount. But it's not a great amount. It's not 98% great to me. But I think I might just be kind of in the minority on that. I think it's one of those things where a lot of people are kind of sick of what's going on right now with all this prejudice and such, and I think this movie is coming out pretty much at just the right time, and it does capture the frustration. It captures the reasons why, much better than Crash does. It actually really does sum up this stuff very well and makes it very relevant to today. But yeah, if you're thinking you're gonna get some really funny, silly comedy that's gonna be really fast and throwing a lot of jokes at you and stuff, it's that at times, but it's mostly this story about prejudice and diversity. So if that's what you're looking for, which apparently a lot of people are, and nothing wrong with it at all. I mean, it's good. It is relevant. It's just for me, I find myself whenever I see a story like that, I'm like, oh, okay, it's gonna be this. All right, let's do it. It's fine. It's not like a Liar Revealed story or a Save the Rainforest story where it's just as soon as it starts, you're like, oh, fuck, no, please. It's not like that. I mean, because this stuff does still happen all the time, it's always going to be relevant. But the way they show it, I thought could have been a little funnier. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. I was looking for more comedy, I think. Because the characters are fine, and the timing's decent. There's one or two jokes that go by really quick that it kind of took me a minute. Like she's doing math while talking to this fox, and she says we're really good at multiplying. Bunnies are. It's like, okay, that took me a second. I got it, but my wife explained that joke to me because the bunny's saying it very, very fast and says about 20 other things, and then that was one of the lines, and she's like, oh, that's pretty good. The bunny's multiplying. I went, Yes, took me a minute. So once or twice there's a line like that that goes by really quick. And again, I think because I am spoiled by comedies like Hot Fuzz and stuff like that, I really do want comedy to be really quick and trying all sorts of different things and new things. And it's not that this isn't trying new things, it's that I think I'm just kind of spoiled and I want even more. And I don't know, I guess it's about, when I saw the trailer, this is about what I thought I'd get. Maybe not quite as much the prejudice and diversity stuff, but, I'm glad that's in there too. It is kind of the nail on the head, but it's, like I said, I mean, we kind of live right now where some people need to hear an animated bunny saying, hey, this obvious thing that you should know when you're 2 years old, this is still bad, kind of thing. So I like it. It's a good film. It does have good characters. It's hard for me to say great, just personally, but I do know it is very, very clever in talking about this and the diversity and the prejudice. And those like the two words I've said the most throughout this vlog, sorry. But it is a good film. For me, I don't know if I connected as much to how great it is, but I do know that the setup and everything is a very, very clever setup, and it does take advantage of it for its obvious metaphor, pretty much. And it works. It's good. I don't think I got into as much as everyone else did, but I still recommend it. You're going to get some laughs. You're going to get, some clever symbolism and such. But, yeah, so if you saw the trailer and said, oh, that might be cute, at the very least, you'll find it bad. I can't see anybody watching this being like, that was shit. That was no thought, no effort put into it at all. Clearly, there's a lot, and a lot of it works. So, yeah, I think actually, it's pretty much a good review for the movie. I can't see anyone saying, that's a bad movie. It'll be, at the worst, it'll be okay. At the best, it'll be phenomenal. Because so many people are saying how phenomenal this movie is, and it's not a bad movie to see that way. Like I said, it just didn't make quite as big a connection to me. But what the hell do I know? I'm a 34-year-old white suburbanite who makes his living on the internet. Clearly, this movie's not made for me. So yeah, it is good, and I do definitely recommend checking it out. So that's about it. I will talk to you later. Take care.